about doing business with a giant bank when there's no cop on the beat?
Thank you, Senator. I will recognize myself for just one question, and it'll even be relevant to your job, I promise, Mr. Chairman. So thank you for your patience and for being here. I wanted to follow up on there were some questions, or at least I know Senator Rounds asked a Basel III question, and your response was basically, let's get the people in place from the administration, and then we'll proceed again. Treasury Secretary Besson recently said that the banking system is, I believe, said, quote, well-capitalized, perhaps over-capitalized, unquote. And given that assessment, or if you agree with it, could you discuss the necessity of advancing a new Basel III proposal, specifically how an updated regulation would impact the ability of the regional banks to compete with the big Wall Street banks? And what consideration should be taken into account to ensure that we have a competitive banking system? Because I know there's this concern comes and goes. And for those of us who have largely regional banks, or God love them, the best of all, community banks and credit unions, a competitive system is really important. So if you could just answer that, and then I'll wrap up.
Sure. So we're eager to get together with new colleagues from the FDIC, new leadership at the FDIC and the OCC, to try to finish Basel III. My own view has been that our banks are well capitalized, and Basel III was not supposed to be an exercise in raising capital in U.S. banks. Mario Draghi said that. Dan Tarullo said that back in the day, I believe. So I think that's about right. We have some work to do, but we'll get there, I believe, fairly quickly. In terms of your regionals, they don't face the GSIB surcharges. They don't face quite the burden that the large banks face on resolution planning and that sort of thing. So we need those banks to be healthy and profitable, because we need them to compete with the GSIBs. We don't want a world where the GSIBs just keep getting a bigger and bigger share of the economy. That's not what we're looking for, and that's what a lot of pressure. We've seen the number of community banks, especially, declining for 30 years.
Yes. And
this is not something we want to. We don't want to be the cause of that. If it's happening by natural causes or because of evolving technology, that's one thing. But we don't want to be inadvertently causing that to happen.
So as you look at a Basel III exercise, can you think of anything specifically that ensures that competitive, diverse banking system is maintained rather than a consolidation, whether it's fewer community banks into more regional banks, or fewer regional banks into more Wall Street banks?
Well, I just think you think twice before you impose the kinds of things that we impose on the largest banks and the next to largest banks. You want to be careful not to just think we should do exactly the same thing. It's what tends to happen is, so for smaller banks, it raises the fixed costs, is what it does, of banking, and it makes it harder to start new banks, and makes it harder for any but the largest to be successful. So that's not what we want. We want a lot of competition, and these regionals. It's important that they thrive.
I agree, and I agree with your assessment. So thank you for that. Thank you for staying with us for the day, and glad we could get you first. So as we wrap up, for senators who wish to submit questions for the hearing record, those questions are due 1 week from today, Tuesday, February 18th. Chair Powell, you have 45 days from that day to submit your response to questions for the record. Thank you. The committee stands adjourned.
Thank you.